Welcome back to another video. It is Tuesday afternoon, it's about 2:15. I am now about to head downstairs and have my pre-workout cereal because I've decided I'll do an afternoon session today and train about 3ish, and then I'll go do some more work after. But I've had a really productive day so far, feeling pretty good. All is going well. I will be honest, if you've watched my last video, on Saturday I had like no energy, major energy crash as I was about to train. And then the rest of Saturday afternoon I just felt pretty awful. Sunday I then had a neck flare up, which obviously not great. And I will be honest, my neck's still not 100%, but it's definitely better than it was, so I should be fine to train today. But actually, energy levels and just how I feel in myself, definitely not quite right still. So not really sure what's going on there. Hoping I'm not coming down with anything or getting ill, but obviously we'll just sort of see and assess as things go on. But for now, I feel okay, and I feel like better as the day is going on type thing. So I'm not too worried about it. In terms of updates, so I had my nutrition check-in today, and basically plan for this week is to have 1 week of full consistent calorie intake every single day, which probably sounds super obvious, but actually I haven't been 100% on it with my targets, especially last week because I was doing so many more steps last week and my body weight was just flying off. I allowed myself to go a little bit over on the days I felt like I needed it, which I'm fine with doing that. I don't mind doing that. I think sometimes we have, like, when you're in a deficit, or when, no matter what your goal is with nutrition, I think you still have to stay in tune with hunger signals and things like that as well. So that's where I was kind of listening to my body a little bit more, and I was still in a major deficit last week. So for context, I started last week at 86.8 kilos and I finished last week at 85.8. The goal is to lose 300 grams a week, and I lost a kilo last week. So because of that, my nutrition coach and I basically spoke, and this week we're going to put my calories up slightly to 2,200. And I'm essentially going to do 2,200 calories. Today's Tuesday, so I actually yesterday had 2,000. So Tuesday through to Sunday, 2,200 calories. Exactly that. Eating pretty much the same foods every day as well, just for a consistency standpoint. Just so that we can actually assess how quickly I'm dropping with my expenditure and my training volume and everything where it currently is. Because I dropped so quickly last week and we hadn't dropped my calories that much. I had increased my steps, but increasing steps isn't this magic thing. Like, obviously it makes a big difference. But for me to have suddenly dropped that quickly, we need a week to really assess kind of what's going on here. So 2,200 this week is the goal, which is definitely sustainable for me, easy to kind of do. It's pretty easy. We actually just boosted my carbs, left protein and fats pretty much the same as they were. So yeah, that's the plan this week in terms of nutrition. But body weight the last couple of days did shoot up a little bit, which it normally does during the week. And I think I mentioned in the last video that I was expecting that to happen. So yesterday morning it was 86.6, today it was 86.3. So we'll see what happens, but I'm literally like still a kilo down from where I was this time last week pretty much. So intrigued to see what happens this week. Steps still keeping up though. So I've gone on a dog walk this morning, just a 25-minute dog walk. And I've also done 40 minutes on my walking pad, and my steps are already at like over 7,000. I'm going to train obviously soon, and then I've got some editing I need to do. I've got some like content stuff to do this afternoon. So I'll do some steps while I do that. And also while I clean my inbox this afternoon as well, I'll do some more steps. And I've got another dog walk to do. So I'm actually expecting to go quite high on steps today. But to be honest, I've actually been finding it fine. I'm feeling so good in terms of like my hamstring issue, my hips, my lower back, everything feels really good from it. So I'm just going to continue with it. And I'm not finding it overwhelming or difficult to fit in either, which is really nice, which kind of surprises me because I thought that I would. But I'm finding it easy. I'm finding it good. So I'm just going to continue with it. I do think I mentioned this in one of last week's videos. So I've been hitting like close to 15,000 steps multiple days a week. Actually on Sunday, because I felt pretty rough and had the neck flare up, I only hit 8,729. I've got my spreadsheet up next to me, to be precise. So my average last week, because I had 2 days that were actually a little bit lower, was like just below 13,000. This week, I'm trying to aim to have my average slightly above that, maybe like actually 13,000. But basically, I mentioned in a previous video, I'm not going to be saying I'm hitting 15,000 steps every single day, because that is not sustainable long-term for me in my lifestyle. Now, I know I can hit about 12,000 most days just from doing dog walks. It's like, that's not a hard thing for me to hit. So the extra 3,000 roughly that I'm doing is literally just from a small stint on the walking pad. Well, there's no reason why I can't do a couple of stints on the walking pad most days. But then if I have a day where I'm like at the weekend where my energy is just plummeted, which I think I am coming down with something, like I genuinely think that's what it is. Like, it's not like me to have that. If I have a day where I just don't have the energy, or if I can't be bothered, or if I'm not doing the dog walks that day for whatever reason, I'll just let myself go under and I won't beat myself up over it because my overall expenditure is so much higher than it was previously. And I think that's a really important thing. Like having a step goal is great, and doing like step challenges with your friends and people like that, like it's really good and it can be really motivating, but it can also become all consuming and you don't want that. So that's just a little bit of an update there in terms of what I'm doing to try and keep my weight off or like get my weight down. I know in order to get under 84 kilos, I'm going to have my expenditure pretty high in day-to-day life if I still want to be able to eat a decent amount of food, and I like food, so I would rather move more and be able to eat more. So yeah, also other update that I'm really excited by. So guys, I've got my hoop earrings in. I re-pierced my ears like last week, and it actually went a lot easier than I thought it would after not wearing earrings for probably about 7 or 8 years. And I ordered some hoops on Amazon. I need to stop ordering from Amazon, to be fair. But I ordered some hoops on Amazon, and they arrived this morning. So I put them in and they're really comfortable. I didn't think they would be. But my ears held up really well after I said I re-pierced and they were already pierced. I just hadn't worn earrings in so long that it wasn't super smooth just putting my earrings back in. And I kind of messed my ears up as well from when I used to go out a lot when I was younger, and I would just re-pierce my ears for every single night out and then just take my earrings out when I got home, and just, they weren't healing great obviously from that. So yeah, got my hoop earrings in, very happy. I'm not finding them annoying, which is also something I thought would happen. Don't think there's any other major updates. It's been a pretty slow day, which is a good thing. I definitely needed it. Like I say, energy levels, and I just haven't been feeling 100%, but I'm just trying to continue on as normal, kind of stick to my normal routine, and I know I'm going to be fine. But yeah, plan is now just to go get some cereal, have that as my pre-workout. I'll come back upstairs and I'll probably just do a little bit more like clearing my inbox and stuff between now and starting to train. And then I'll spend a couple of hours training and get back to work. I'm trying to make sure that I'm like logging off at a reasonable hour still, but I saw someone talk about this online earlier, and this is a conversation that I've had multiple times with like people in my life about like finding work-life balance when you are self-employed is so difficult. But when you're in your younger years, like in my 20s, and I'm trying to build this thing and this business that sustains me in the life, that, like my lifestyle and how I like to live and is sustainable for me and obviously allows me to be able to afford to do things that I want to do, like it requires a lot of work. Like you can't see it as just a structured 9 to 5 while you're still in that phase of trying to build something. Like you have to accept that you're probably going to be working 6-7 days most weeks. You're probably going to have to accept that you're going to be working late some nights. You're going to be working silly hours sometimes, and that is okay. And I think I spoke about this in a recent-ish video anyway, like a few weeks ago, but I just wanted to be a reminder that like there's nothing wrong with grafting for what you want. Like, and I'm very aware that like I know my signs for when I need to take a bit of time off. I've actually got a week off coming up in a couple of weeks, which is why I think currently I'm so okay with, like, I didn't have a day off last week, and I think I had one day off the week before, but I had a couple of weeks after being away constantly over the last few months with competitions and stuff like that, that I was like, okay, right, I'm going to really just find some balance again. And I had a couple of weeks where I really prioritized that, and I noticed the benefits of it, of course, and I allowed myself to kind of feel more recovered. But I then had other things coming up that I know I needed to get ahead of, or had new ideas coming up that I wanted to create and things like that. And I just found myself last week, like, while I've got this motivation to do this, I'm going to just get it done. Like, I'm not going to worry that I'm working 7 days this week. I'm not going to worry that I'm working really late a few nights this week and things like that, because you have to go through phases like that if you want to build something. And I think if you work like a corporate 9 to 5 or something like that, then absolutely work your hours, go home and live your life. But when it is something where you're trying to build something self-employed, like I come from a family of like my parents are self-employed, and I've watched them work silly hours and create these businesses for themselves. It requires a lot of time, and it requires a lot of focus, and it requires a lot of energy. And it is okay if that means that sometimes you're working 7 days a week. Like, that is not a bad thing. But I think we're in this culture at the moment, which is a great thing, where people are so quick to be like, you have to prioritize looking after yourself, which of course you do. And I do make sure I do that. But it's almost like people are then scared to be willing to do that extra hard work to create the life that they want to live. So yeah, a little bit of a ramble there, but essentially just kind of justifying my decision to work 7 days last week, and most likely it's looking like 7 days this week, which again, I'm fine with. I've got a week off coming up, which is going to be a full 7 days, no work whatsoever. So I'm just getting ahead for that. Okay, so it's now 2 minutes to 3. I've just been putting some content together. I've had an idea for a post a few weeks ago, and I'm finally kind of putting the effort into making it, that was basically just highlighting that most high-level athletes in powerlifting aren't just powerlifters. There was an interview, I'm not going to name the podcast, I'm not going to name the athlete, ages ago, of someone that's essentially like an influencer in the space, and that is their career, that is their main job, saying that they're not all in on powerlifting. And then the person interviewing them was like, oh my goodness, imagine if you were. And whilst I understand the concept, that conversation hinted at the idea that most people that are competing at the top are just athletes or all in on powerlifting. And that conversation is stuck in my head for a really long time, because I'm like, what do you mean all in on powerlifting? The only examples of lifters I can think of that are all in on powerlifting would be Agatha and Austin Perkins. There are probably a few others. Like, I think Betty from the Netherlands, and like the highest level lifters in the Netherlands, they get a salary for powerlifting and placing at a certain point in the world championships and stuff. Like, there are definitely other programs around the world where people are able to make powerlifting their main thing. But even those countries, I'm pretty sure a lot of them have jobs on the side, or they're studying on the side. And there's just become this notion that powerlifting for a lot of these really high level lifters is their main career, or like is their main thing that they do, and they're not doing much else. And something about it really bothered me, because I never want people to feel like they can't achieve things because they're all so busy. And a lot of people will say that unless you're a full-time coach who then has freedom of their schedule, that you can't be a high-level powerlifter. And there are so many high-level powerlifters that also have full-time jobs or studying or really busy lives, responsibilities outside of being the athlete. So I'm basically in the process of making a post on it. And I've just finished a slide on Betty Hanlon of the UK. And basically I just got Betty to send me some pictures of her competing so I can use as a background. And then just kind of talking through what she does, because she was one of the first people that came to mind of someone that, you know, she is a super high level athlete. She's like the best 76 that GB's ever had. She's continuously progressing. She was vying for podium at the World Championships in a crazy, crazy battle. And I thought she was a really good example of someone. She's doing a PhD. She's also teaching undergrad physics at the University of Liverpool. And she's also fitting in every single training session. And she trains a lot. She trains like 5 days a week, like long sessions. And she just makes it work. And I thought she was a really good example of someone for that. And I'm now about to reach out to some other lifters. So I wanted to get one together to use as a bit of an example and just kind of put my idea kind of on the page. But I'm really looking forward to basically putting this post out. I'm hoping by the time this video comes out, the post will be made. But it obviously depends on who I reach out to and how long it takes to get back to me. But I'm really, really excited by this, because I just think there's a really big misconception at the moment that to be the best, you have to be a full-time powerlifter, full-time athlete. And that's just not the reality. Like, if there's not money in a sport, then it can't be your full-time income. Like, we see it across different sports. Like, a lot of Olympic athletes also have full-time jobs to be able to fund going to the Olympics, because it's not a paid venture for a lot of them. And it's just something that, as you can probably tell, I'm quite passionate about. And I want to put something together to spread that message out there, I think, and to show people that you can achieve incredible things if you just believe in yourself, and you just put the work in, essentially. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because I really need to go and train now.
Fatal attraction, lovers in action, yeah. One of us is gonna get hurt. You got your madness, and I'm good at bad habits. Oh, one of us is gonna get hurt. I'm no one to trust, ask anyone, and you will see it. I live for the thrill. Oh, I'm dead serious, it's you or me, you best believe it.
Okay, so I am just back from the dog walk. It is, my watch is out of battery. It is 10 to 9 in the evening. I haven't just finished work. I finished work about 7:15. Hung out with Zuko for a little while and then went on a dog walk where we met another husky. So we spent loads of time chatting to them. And Zuko just had the time of his life. But I'm now back. Gonna make some breakfast, overnight Weetabix for the morning and just kind of shower, chill out, and get myself in bed nice and early because I'm up early tomorrow. But I want to recap the session. So training was fine. It wasn't anything amazing. It wasn't anything terrible. It was productive work. This is my first week not doing Hatfield squats, and I absolutely enjoyed the session a lot more because of that. I had top set of six on squats at 157.5, and that felt fine. It felt comfortable. Nothing to really report on squats at all. To be honest, my high bar was also fine. Bench, my neck was causing aggravation again, and I also definitely think my elbow depth is high. So firstly, my 3 count pauses, not 3 count at all. But I will say holding position genuinely just felt really uncomfortable because of my neck pain. So I'm just going to put it down to that. I'm not going to hyper focus on it. It was still strict pauses, which is the most important thing. And my execution on my primary day has been really, really solid lately. So as long as that continues, I'm kind of happy. But obviously I'll work to make it cleaner next week and I just won't go up very much, or I'll repeat the same load next week, depending on how like my neck's feeling and everything. I did take the lower end of the range today because of my neck and just the discomfort in holding position. So is what it is. Strength wise, it was still fine, but yeah, I just didn't feel as good as I wanted to. My single also, I kind of dumped on my chest as well and just didn't hold tension very well. But again, just positioning with my neck was just so uncomfortable. I debated actually not even doing Larsen press, or to be honest, I actually debated not benching at all. Once I started warming up and just felt how uncomfortable my neck was, I did consider just not doing anymore. But I was like, no, do you know what? Get through today. And then if things still feel iffy when I'm setting up tomorrow, I just won't do my super light bench tomorrow, which will be the next video. I have 3x5 at 90 kilos on my day 2 of the week, which is tomorrow's session. And if I end up cancelling that session out to let my neck heal, then I end up cancelling that bench session out and I'll still deadlift and do my accessory and stuff after. It is what it is, but I'll just kind of play that out. So next video, obviously I'll show you guys that. I'm also going to do a Q&A in the next video, which I did put a question box up for a couple of hours ago and I've already got some really, really good questions in. So we'll definitely do that in the next video as well and just kind of give you guys some insight into some of the questions that you've been sending in on Instagram. But yeah, bench was just... I'm fine with it because I know it's just my neck. I didn't really feel my pec too much, but going on to the elbow depth topic, my elbow depth is absolutely getting worse because I'm tucking so much more. And I think I'm tucking so much more because it's taking a little bit of pressure off of my pec by not being quite so kind of flared and internally rotated. So it feels super strong, but elbow depth is important and I can't check it on the bench at home now because of how I've rearranged the gym. I'm not going to worry about that too much though. At the moment, the priority is just getting productive work in and just feeling strong and feeling healthy. So once pec is sorted, once my neck is cleared up, which to be fair, it is clearing up fairly quickly considering how much pain I was in Sunday, how much pain I was in yesterday, and then again today, like it is getting considerably better day on day. Yeah, it's just kind of getting my pec and stuff under control as well. And then from there, I'll worry about elbow depth and I'll figure that out. But I think that's probably all I've got to say from this session. Like I say, it's been a good day. It's been a nice day. I'm feeling okay. I just don't feel 100% well at the moment. I think it's probably just a little bit of a cold or something coming on. So we'll just continue hoping that that passes through without kind of manifesting into anything major, but nothing else to really cover in this one. So gonna wrap the video up here. Want to say thank you if you've made it to the end. I do genuinely really appreciate every single person that sticks around in these videos. Please be sure to leave a like, let me know that you're still here, leave a comment and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for the next video.